Seniors 1. Daily habit that brings back your strength after 60. Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered, when did I start to feel fragile? Not in spirit, not in heart, but in your body, your legs, your arms, your grip. That moment when reaching for the top shelf takes more effort than it used to, when getting out of a chair takes a little longer. When your own reflection feels a bit unfamiliar. If so, you're not alone. By the time we reach the age of 80, most people have lost nearly 50% of their total muscle mass compared to their youth. And this decline doesn't just change how we look, it transforms how we live, how we walk, how we lift, how we bend, reach, carry, and stay balanced. It affects whether we climb stairs or avoid them, whether we rise confidently or struggle with each step. It's called sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. And it's a growing epidemic. Globally, more than 50 million older adults are affected by sarcopenia. Every single year, over 3,000 seniors in the U.S. alone are hospitalized after a fall related to muscle weakness. Many of them never fully recover their independence. But what if this decline wasn't inevitable? What if your strength could not only remain, but actually improve well into your 70s, 80s, even 90s? Groundbreaking research published in the Journal of Physiology revealed something extraordinary. A group of older adults in their late 70s and 80s showed muscle strength coordination and mobility on par with people 30 years younger. They weren't just surviving old age, they were hiking, swimming, carrying groceries with ease, lifting grandkids not with strain but with joy. They moved with purpose, energy, and resilience. They weren't just aging, they were thriving. So, what's their secret? It's not about luck or genetics. It's about habits, specific, consistent actions that train the body and support long-term strength. Today, we're going to uncover 7 proven habits practiced by the world's strongest seniors, people in their 70s and beyond, who've defied the expectations of aging. And habit number 1. It might challenge everything you've assumed about getting older. Habit number 1, progressive strength training. The most powerful anti-aging tool. Let's set the record straight. Walking is good. It supports heart health, circulation, and mobility. But by itself, it won't stop muscle loss. To actually preserve and rebuild your strength, you need to challenge your muscles in a very specific way, progressively. That doesn't mean lifting like a 25-year-old bodybuilder. It means using resistance, like dumbbells, resistance bands, or even your own body weight, in a way that becomes slightly more difficult over time. Just enough to keep your muscles adapting, rebuilding, and staying engaged. One compelling study from McMaster University found that seniors who trained with moderate to high resistance twice a week gained significantly more strength than those who only performed light exercises for longer durations. Why? Because muscles respond to stress. If you never ask them to do more, they won't grow, they won't maintain, they'll shrink. And as they shrink, so does your mobility, balance, energy, and confidence. Here's what strong seniors do differently. They train twice a week, with each session lasting about 30 minutes. They gradually increase resistance or repetitions over time, never staying stagnant. They focus on compound movements that work multiple muscle groups at once, such as squats modified to protect joints, rows for back and posture, presses for upper body strength. They emphasize control, especially during the eccentric phase or the lowering portion of a movement. This phase is where the real muscle strengthening happens, and it also trains balance and joint stability. And the result, increased muscle strength and endurance, improved balance and reduced fall risk, higher energy levels throughout the day, and for many, reduced joint pain and stiffness. Most importantly, this works at any age. Even if you're starting in your late 60s, 70s, or 80s, it's not too late. Your muscles are still listening. They are still capable of growth. They're waiting for your signal. So if walking is your current go-to, great. Don't stop. But know that to stay truly strong, to regain the confidence that comes with stable, powerful movement, you'll need to add resistance training to your weekly rhythm. Habit number 2, keep the mind-muscle connection alive. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. You might think muscle loss is purely physical, that it's about age joints and activity levels. But the truth is, it's deeply neurological. Every movement you make, reaching for a cup, standing from a chair, lifting a bag, requires a message from your brain to your muscles. These messages travel through intricate electrical highways known as neuromuscular junctions. As we age, these junctions begin to fade like static in an old phone line. The signal from your brain gets weaker, your muscle doesn't respond as quickly. And over time, that lag can translate to poor coordination, slower reflexes, and even a higher risk of falling. But there's good news. These pathways can be retrained. They can be strengthened just like muscles can. And it all starts with intentional movement, being present when you lift, walk, or reach. More on that in the next section. In the previous section, we talked about progressive strength training, the foundation for preserving physical ability well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But what many people don't realize is that strength isn't just physical, it's neurological. That's right, your muscles might still be there, but if your brain can't reach them, they won't work the way they used to. After the age of 60, the electrical connection between your brain and your body, the neuromuscular link, begins to weaken. Messages that once fired instantly now take a little longer to arrive. Movements become slower, less coordinated. You might trip more easily, feel unsure when stepping downstairs, or hesitate before getting out of a chair. But here's the good news. Some older adults, what researchers call superagers, are defying this decline. What are they doing differently? They're not just exercising. They're doing activities that train the brain and body together. Oi! They play ping pong. They dance. They garden. They do Tai Chi in the park. They challenge their coordination, not just their strength. These might seem like simple hobbies, but in reality, they're neural workouts. They're preserving the communication lines between brain and muscle. In a 2020 study, researchers found that older adults who regularly practiced coordination-based activities had 31% better neuromuscular function than those who didn't. That's a huge difference in real-life terms, like better reaction time, fewer falls, and more confidence when moving through daily life. Superagers also support these connections in other ways. They practice deep breathing techniques like box breathing, a simple but powerful method of inhaling, holding, exhaling, and pausing for equal counts. This technique stimulates the vagus nerve, helping calm the nervous system, sharpen brain clarity, and boost focus. They also stimulate their brains with challenges like learning a new skill, solving puzzles, or even memorizing dance steps. These brain workouts keep neural circuits active, which in turn keeps the body sharp and responsive. And they fuel these brain-muscle pathways with targeted nutrients, key vitamins and minerals that protect nerve health and help signals travel smoothly. Let's talk about a few of those next. Habit number 3, feed your muscles. What they're starving for: micronutrients. So maybe you've already started moving more, you're strength training, you're more active, and yet something still feels off. Your gains are slow, you're more tired than you expected. Recovery takes days instead of hours. What's going on? The answer might surprise you. Your muscles may be missing the raw materials they need to grow. These aren't carbs, fats, or even protein. They're micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that act like switches flipping on the internal systems that build, protect, and repair muscle tissue. Let's look at some superager favorites. Magnesium, the strength mineral that's quietly disappearing. Over 70% of adults over 60 are deficient in magnesium, and most don't even know it. That's a problem. Magnesium plays a vital role in muscle contraction, nerve transmission, protein synthesis, and even energy production at the cellular level. In one major study, seniors with optimal magnesium levels had 30% better grip strength and significantly improved balance compared to those who were deficient. Superagers make magnesium a daily priority. They eat spinach, pumpkin seeds, black beans, almonds, and when needed, they supplement with bioavailable forms like magnesium glycinate, which is easier on the stomach and better absorbed. Creatine. Not just for bodybuilders. Yes, really. Creatine has long been associated with athletes, but research from McMaster University showed that older adults who supplemented with 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day while doing resistance training gained significantly more strength and muscle mass than those who exercised alone. Creatine works by helping your muscles store more energy and retain water inside the cells, which creates an ideal environment for growth and recovery. It's safe. affordable, and one of the most research-backed tools for aging muscles. Vitamin B12, the silent drain on strength. As we age, our body's ability to absorb vitamin B12 drops significantly, and common medications like metformin or acid blockers can make the problem worse. Without B12, you might experience fatigue, brain fog, weakness, or a feeling of imbalance, even dizziness. Superagers stay ahead of this by supplementing with methylated B12, the active form your body can use most easily, and by eating foods rich in B12 like fish, eggs, yogurt, zinc, selenium, and chromium, the hidden helpers. These trace minerals may be small in quantity, but they're mighty in effect. They support protein metabolism, insulin sensitivity, cell repair, and regeneration. In a long-term study from Tufts University seniors, with optimal levels of these three nutrients, preserved 22% more muscle mass over 5 years compared to those with deficiencies. It's not just about how much you eat, it's about whether your body has the tools to use what you eat. So, now it's time to ask yourself, are your muscles getting what they need? You might be eating well, staying active, and doing all the right things, but if your micronutrient levels are low, your body might still be falling short. That's why superagers test, not guess. They work with healthcare providers to identify what's missing and then correct it carefully and consistently. Because at this stage of life, the details matter. A few missing nutrients can mean the difference between feeling strong or feeling stuck, between recovery or regression, between living fully or just getting by. We just learned how superagers don't leave their strength to chance. They work with their doctors to test, not guess, checking nutrient levels and supplementing based on real biological need, because sometimes the difference between weakness and vitality is as small as a missing mineral. But nutrition isn't the only silent force at work. There's something else, something more subtle but equally powerful that can shape how your body feels every single day. Let's talk about habit number 4, calm the fire. Reduce daily inflammation. You may not always see it on the surface, but you can definitely feel it. That lingering fatigue, the slower recovery after even mild activity, that stiffness in your joints when you wake up each morning. It's easy to think that's just aging, but much of the time it's not age, it's inflammation. As we grow older, our bodies are more prone to a low-grade chronic form of inflammation, so mild it often goes unnoticed, but so persistent it can silently erode our strength, joint mobility, and nerve function over time. Researchers have even given it a name, inflammaging, and it matters. A study from Tufts University found that older adults with high inflammation markers lost muscle at 3 times the rate of those with low inflammation, even though both groups consumed similar protein levels and followed similar exercise routines. That's why for superagers, managing inflammation isn't optional, it's essential. And they start with something we often take for granted, sleep. 1 week of poor sleep can increase inflammatory markers by over 40%, according to multiple sleep studies. That's a massive spike for something so seemingly simple. So what do superagers do differently? They go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. They limit screen time in the evening to protect melatonin levels. They keep their bedrooms cool, quiet, and dark, turning sleep into a recovery ritual. They know that no sleep equals no recovery equals no strength. But they don't stop there. They also focus on gut health, because your gut is home to more than 70% of your immune system. When it's balanced, your whole body functions better. When it's out of sync, inflammation runs wild. Superagers heal their gut with intentional food diversity. They aim for 30 or more different plant-based foods each week. Yes, 30. They eat fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi, soluble fiber from oats, beans, apples, and ground flaxseed, colorful produce to support microbial diversity. One study from the University of California showed that improving gut diversity through food alone reduced systemic inflammation by up to 29% in just 12 weeks. They also understand the fine balance of movement. While exercise is crucial, too much can actually create stress and inflammation if the body doesn't have enough time to recover. That's why superagers follow the Goldilocks rule for movement. Not too much, not too little, just right. They move moderately every day, walking, swimming, gardening. They stretch gently, practice Tai Chi, and they only engage in high-intensity training once or twice a week, giving their bodies time to fully rest and repair. They train smart and recover smarter, And of course, they eat anti-inflammatory foods like it's a daily prescription. What's on their plate? Fatty fish like salmon rich in omega-3s, berries loaded with antioxidants, olive oil and green tea packed with polyphenols, turmeric or curcumin proven to reduce joint and muscle pain. These aren't just healthy foods, they're natural inflammation extinguishers providing real relief without the side effects of medications. But how do they track it all? Many superagers request a simple lab test from their doctor called the High Sensitivity CRP HS-CRP test. This blood test measures low-level inflammation in the body. Here's how it's interpreted. Below 1 mg cell, optimal, between 1.0 and 3.0 mSORL, moderate inflammation, above 3.0 mSORL, concerning and needs attention. Most superagers keep their CRP below 1.0. They know you can't build strength on a body that's constantly on fire. Now that we've tamed the fire, let's look at one of the most overlooked drivers of strength. Habit number 5, optimize vitamin D, the unsung hero of muscle power. When we talk about building strong muscles, we usually think of protein or strength training, but there's one nutrient quite underestimated that might just be the most important of all: vitamin D. Why is it so important? Because vitamin D isn't just for bone health. It plays a direct role in muscle function, influencing muscle cell growth, repair after exercise or injury, balance coordination, and reaction time. In fact, a large study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had 25% greater muscle strength, improved balance, and fewer falls compared to those who were deficient. Yet here's the shocking part. More than 80% of adults over 65 have insufficient or deficient levels of vitamin D. And most don't even know it. You might think you're getting enough just by spending time in the sun. But aging skin produces less vitamin D than younger skin, and depending on where you live, the sun's UV rays might not even be strong enough for several months out of the year. Other common factors that lower vitamin D levels include wearing sunscreen regularly, important for skin but blocks D production, staying indoors more often, kidney or liver conditions, certain medications that interfere with D metabolism. So even if you eat well, walk daily, and catch some sun, you might still be low. That's why optimizing vitamin D is a core strategy among strong, vibrant older adults. They test their levels regularly through a blood panel. They supplement appropriately often with D3, the active form, and combine it with vitamin K2 to ensure calcium is used properly in the body, not deposited into joints or arteries. Because when your vitamin D levels are in the optimal range, your body moves better, heals faster, and protects itself more effectively from falls, fractures, and fatigue. In the last section, we explored the overlooked importance of vitamin D, how it plays a critical role in maintaining muscle strength, balance, and reaction time. But knowing it matters isn't enough. To truly benefit from it, we have to understand how age changes the way our body handles this essential nutrient. As we age, our ability to make and use vitamin D declines. By the time you reach your 60s or 70s, your skin produces about 50% less vitamin D from sunlight than it did when you were younger. And even if you do get sun exposure, your kidneys may no longer convert vitamin D into its active form as efficiently. This means that even those who spend time outdoors can still be functionally deficient. Now add to that more time spent indoors, seasonal changes, and medications that interfere with vitamin D metabolism, and it's easy to see why deficiency becomes almost inevitable. Yes, food can help. Fatty fish like salmon egg yolks and fortified dairy offer small amounts of vitamin D. But for most older adults, food alone doesn't provide enough to maintain optimal levels. That's why superagers don't leave it to chance. They get their vitamin D levels tested every year and supplement accordingly, often taking 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily under medical supervision. But they don't stop there. They pair it with vitamin K2, a crucial step that many overlook. Why? Because without vitamin K2, high doses of vitamin D can lead to calcium being deposited in the wrong places like your arteries instead of your bones. K2 acts like a traffic controller for calcium. It tells it where to go, bones and muscles, and where not to go, arterial walls and joints. This is why D3 and K2 work best together. Superagers often choose combined D3 plus K2 supplements and reinforce the combo with real food sources. Natto, a fermented soy food. Hard cheeses, grass-fed butter. These foods are rich in natural K2, supporting proper calcium distribution and giving your muscles and bones exactly what they need. Because for aging muscles, vitamin D is more than a vitamin, it's a lifeline. Habit number 6, protein timing. Feed your muscles at the right time. You've heard it before, protein builds muscle. But here's the part that often gets missed: when you eat protein can matter just as much as how much you eat. As we age, our bodies develop something called anabolic resistance, a reduced ability to process and utilize protein for muscle growth. In simple terms, your muscles don't respond to protein as efficiently as they once did. What does that mean? It means eating a big steak at dinner won't fully compensate for a protein-light breakfast and lunch. Your body can only use so much protein at one time. To build and maintain muscle, it needs a steady, well-timed supply. Superagers follow what scientists call the 3-meal protein rule. A study from the University of Texas found that older adults who consumed 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal built 1.2 to 2 pounds more muscle over 12 weeks without changing their exercise routines. Here's what that looks like in daily practice: breakfast, scrambled eggs, Greek yogurt with seeds, or a protein smoothie with fruit and almond butter. Lunch, grilled chicken, tuna salad, tofu with quinoa or lentils. Dinner, baked salmon, beans with rice, cottage cheese with steamed vegetables. Spacing out your protein intake ensures your muscles stay nourished throughout the day, not just in one large burst. Because remember, muscles don't grow just from eating more. They grow when you eat smart, and your body has the tools and timing to absorb what you give it. Habit number 7, harness hormetic stress. Strength through small struggles. Now we arrive at one of the most fascinating and maybe surprising secrets of superagers. They don't avoid discomfort. In fact, they regularly expose themselves to tiny controlled doses of stress, not to punish the body, but to train it to adapt, repair, and grow stronger. This is known as hormetic stress. It's the idea that small, manageable challenges push the body to become more resilient physically and biologically. Let's break it down. Cold exposure. Just 30 to 60 seconds of cold water at the end of a shower can activate brown fat, which burns energy and supports metabolic health. Trigger the release of adiponectin, a hormone that protects muscle from breakdown. Increase mental alertness and energy. According to research from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, short bursts of cold exposure improve muscle performance and cellular repair in older adults. Heat exposure. On the flip side, sauna use or hot baths create a very different kind of beneficial stress. Heat activates heat, shock proteins, compounds that help repair damaged muscle cells, improve circulation, reduce age-related muscle wasting. A study in Finland found that seniors who use saunas 4 to 7 times per week had 40% less muscle decline over a 10-year period, compared to those who use saunas less frequently. Intermittent fasting, fasting for 12-16 hours a day, or eating within an 8 to 10 hour window initiates a process called autophagy, a natural cellular cleanup system. During autophagy, your body breaks down old or damaged components inside cells, including muscle cells, and replaces them with new, more efficient parts. The result: cleaner, stronger muscles without the need for calorie restriction or weight loss. Isometric exercises. Superagers also use isometric hold simple exercises that create tension without movement. For example, pressing your palms together, holding a wall squat for 10 to 15 seconds, squeezing a towel between your knees. These small movements send strong anabolic signals to the muscles, telling them to grow, stabilize, and engage without putting stress on aging joints. In short, superagers have learned how to train smarter, not just harder. They understand that resilience comes from meeting just the right amount of challenge, and that sometimes less is more if it's done right. We've just explored how small, manageable doses of challenge, whether a cold shower, a short fast, or a simple wall squat, can activate your body's inner strength. It's not about pain, it's about purpose. That's the beauty of hormetic stress. It works not because it's extreme, but because it's intentional and brief. It doesn't punish your body. It encourages it with just enough pressure to say, stay strong, stay alert, stay alive. And when you embrace these little challenges regularly, something amazing happens. Your body listens, your muscles respond, your energy grows, and aging begins to feel less like decline and more like evolution. Now let's bring everything together. Your 7 daily habits for strength after 70. These are the real-world research-backed strategies practiced by strong, vibrant people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond. People who walk with confidence, who get up without hesitation, who live with energy presence and independence. Let's recap. 1. Progressive strength training. Build and maintain real muscle through resistance, body weight, dumbbells, or bands. The key is gradual progression. 2. Preserve neuromuscular connections. Train your brain and body to move as one. Activities like dancing, tai chi, ping pong, or coordination drills keep those pathways sharp. 3. Micronutrients matter. Give your muscles what they're craving. Magnesium, B12, creatine, zinc, selenium, and more. These are the quiet fuels that power strength and recovery. 4. Inflammation control. Cool the silent fire. Sleep well. Heal your gut. Eat anti-inflammatory foods daily and avoid overtraining. 5. Optimize vitamin D. It's not just for bones, it's the switch that turns on muscle-building genes. Test your levels, pair it with K2, and supplement wisely. 6. Protein timing. Eat protein smart, not just more, but at the right times. 25 to 30 grams at breakfast, lunch, and dinner helps your muscles stay nourished all day long. 7. Hormetic stress. Use small doses of challenge to build resilience. Cold, heat, fasting, isometrics. Done right, these habits signal your body to stay youthful and strong. Your turn. So now it's over to you. You don't need to start with all 7 habits. Just begin with one, the one that feels doable today. Maybe it's a breakfast that includes protein instead of just toast. Maybe it's adding a 30-minute strength session once a week. Maybe it's booking that long postponed appointment to check your vitamin D levels. Whatever you choose, remember this: you are not too old. It is not too late. And your strongest years may still be ahead of you. Because strength isn't about youth, it's about momentum. And the moment you begin, even with one step, you've already changed your direction. If this video inspired you, like it to let us know. Share it with someone you care about, your spouse, a friend, your walking partner. In the comments below, tell us, which of these habits will you try first? Do you know someone who embodies aging with strength? We'd love to hear their story too. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing to Life After 60 today, where we believe aging is not about slowing down. It's about getting smarter, stronger, and more alive with every passing year. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and remember, you're not aging, you're evolving.